Home security became a big craze a while back because house robberies were becoming more common day by day. From alarms to cameras, all the way to smoke systems, people were swarming to protect their houses, and the upcoming video was captured during this craze. The people who owned the house had recently added 4 cameras to their interior, as well as a zero vision in 10 seconds smoke system, which would trigger if a break-in happened whilst they were not home. Fortunately, in the years they have had these devices, they have never had to be used, at least not for burglaries. Somehow, a bunch of items started moving around the kitchen, not to mention the door supposedly moving off camera. The family claimed they could hear the banging faintly. With all the commotion, the smoke system actually activated, and it took them a good 2 hours to clear the room of it. The owner explained that it felt like being in a James Bond movie, cool, yet terrifying. A fact that I am constantly reinstating across my videos is that spirits love to possess dolls, and it still holds just as much truth. It is unknown why they enjoy taking control of these children's toys, but when they do, there is nothing more twisted and demented on the planet. Perhaps this is why. Regardless of what the answer to that question is, though, the upcoming clip captured another piece of evidence that dolls are frequently the toys of the paranormal, and it has a very eerie feeling to it. Have a watch.
Ma, ese muñeco acaba de sonar solo y se está moviendo solo. ¡Movete, sapo perro! Ma. Mamá. Mamá. Se lo juro que yo no he activado nada. Mamá. Uy, quieto.
Strangely, the doll started to move without any human interaction and continued to do so even after the man pulled his mobile device out. It moved about for around 30 seconds in total, which was more than long enough to freak the man behind the camera out. He knew one thing for certain: his daughter was never touching that thing again. Tim Morozov, a decently sized YouTuber, amassing a respectable 600,000 subscribers, is known for posting his ghostly adventures to his audience. From old hospitals to abandoned houses, it seems that Tim hasn't obtained the genes to feel fear, and the YouTube video you are about to see some clips from definitely promotes his features of bravery and boldness. It was 1 a.m. when he decided to explore an abandoned house for his fans to see if anything haunted would happen. Surprisingly, the house he selected for this video wasn't known to be haunted and was only abandoned due to how poorly built it was. Needn't anyone worry though, because Tim was about to prove that the former was true.
За шум. Там, по-моему, только одна вешалка была. Это сейчас за порыв энергии был такой.
When he reached this particular room, Tim explained that he felt the cold flooding his bloodstream, and it was one of the strongest feelings of paranormal presence he had ever felt. It was enough to make his hands visibly tremble, and he did not want to continue onwards. However, doing it for the fans, he approached the closet, and a carpet-like item came bursting out of it before flying around the entire house. Understandably, Tim had no clue what this was, and ran around the house trying to track it. Eventually, it came to a standstill, and he discovered it was a rug. This still didn't explain why it flew everywhere, and it is likely that such an answer will never be found. Jack knew that his house was haunted. He just had that feeling about it, not to mention the fact that he would put an item somewhere and the next day it would be in a totally different room. He had spent days trying to prove his point to his wife that the house was far beyond return, but no matter what he explained to her, she would not believe him. He knew what he needed to get her on his side: concrete evidence. His mission was to go into his son's room and try to videotape as much activity as humanly possible. Why he chose his son's room, I don't know, but I won't question this decision because it did wonders. Whilst he was standing there, the drawer somehow took it upon itself to open, and this stumped the poor bloke. He tried to stay silent in case he disturbed, or even worse, fed the ghost with his fear, and in fairness, this method did work. Nothing too dangerous happened, and the only other event was that the curtains were waving very unnaturally. He showed this footage to his wife of 10 years, who word for word told him to stick his evidence in the trash, and that he obviously made all of this happen. Who do you think was right in this situation? Let me know in the comments. Roland With Me is a YouTube channel that we have discussed many times in my videos, and his paranormal footage never fails to disappoint. He is full-time in the spiritual industry and hoes all across the states, trying to discover all sorts of entities. It's no surprise that he carried most of them back to his beautiful house in the south, which in result has been haunted for 3 years. The upcoming clip was recorded within his 4 walls, and one of the main comments I get when I feature Roland is that he clearly isn't scared, so his content must be fake. This man has been through a ton of spiritual sightings, so it takes a ton to strike fear into him. Keep that in mind.
What in the hell? Alright. That drawer and that cabinet door, those were not open.
All right, who opened this? Is there a spirit here that left this cabinet door open? Can you please? Oh, look, there it goes. It's shut.
All right.
Apparently, somebody just shut that cabinet. You left the drawer open. Can you please shut the drawer? You left it open right there. Please shut the drawer. You still left the drawer open. Can you please shut the drawer? And stop opening things in here. Up, there it goes. All right. I see you close the drawer in the cabinets.
Something was coming from the ceiling.
Is there a spirit in here that just did something in the ceiling?
Something up in there. That ceiling there. What the hell? I know there's no way anybody could fit in there, right? There's no way anybody can hide in there.
As weird as this may have been, the spirit listened to Roland, which was a very rare occurrence, especially house ghosts. They tend to cause as much havoc as possible and wouldn't listen for their life back. This case was different, and he had no idea why, despite being a top-tier expert on the matter. He uploaded this footage to his YouTube, along with a saga of other captures, all in one video. His comment section were just as confused, let alone his devoted subscribers. The father of this girl had tragically passed away, trying to save people from a fire, and the town commemorated him well. He was just a regular firefighter. He got paid regular wages, and he lived a regular life. It was very unfortunate to see him pass away so young. As a gift from the father's wife to their daughter, she gave her a stuffed teddy bear, wearing the same clothes her father used to call his favorite outfit. As the icing on the cake, she also got the man to speak into the bear so that when cuddled, it would play his message. It made both of them cry every time it triggered, and it truly was a heartwarming gift. However, even the most blessed items can descend to paranormal activity, and the clip you are about to witness is one of these moments. While not negative, it was definitely enough to spook the girl. Have a watch.
I just missed a call from my dad. He's been gone. Like, I just heard his voice one more time.
I don't know whether this was fortunate or unfortunate for the girl, because this moment had both its positives and negatives. On the positive side, she was given reassurance that her father was safe and in heaven, but on the flip side, this must have set her back a good week on recovering from her loss. It also stopped her from sleeping for the entire night, which is never a good thing. The next day, she had a brilliant day though, which you can't complain about. The same cannot be said about the evening though, because the spirit made a second appearance and the girl started to have second thoughts on whether or not it was actually her father. Strangely, the doors started to open and close like we have seen many spirits do, but the girl claimed that she felt a sort of dark feeling in the room. This feeling made her adamant that she was encountering an evil spirit. rather than that of her father, but I guess we will never be too sure. On November 12th of last year, a family were gathering in their parents' bedroom for a lecture on eating the food too quickly when something very strange happened. You see, the family owned a cat, but it was on the bed with them at the time of the gathering, so whatever they were about to see could not have belonged to them. With that knowledge in mind, this upcoming piece of footage becomes very odd.
Bruja real se convierte en gato.
Hay algo allá atrás, afuera, que estamos viéndolo. ¿Quién eres? Tú no eres un gato. ¿Qué pasó? ¡Ay, qué es eso! Vete de aquí, ¿quién eres? ¿Qué es eso? ¿Quién eres? Te estoy grabando, ¿quién eres? ¿Por qué estás aquí en mi casa? Tú no eres un gato. Tú no eres un gato. Te ordeno que te vayas de mi casa. ¡Ay! ¡Ay! No manches. No manches. ¿Qué es eso, Virginia? Se abrió la puerta. Se abrió la puerta. Se abrió la puerta. ¡Ay, güey! Se me abrió la puerta. Vámonos, 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 vámonos.
Experts believe that this cat was a skinwalker, and this made sense considering the fact it somehow understood what the humans were saying. They continuously questioned the cat, and it almost spoke back to them, like it knew what they were saying. When they went to get a closer look, it ran and jumped out of the window, vanishing in the air. On January the 17th of 2008, Kaiden, a young adult at the time, had recently started renting a new house for him, his girlfriend, and their 3 pets. The house had no unusual backstory or anything that would really deter a family from moving in. However, reputations can easily come to an end. It was night 4 in the house at around 6 p.m. when the most peculiar evening of Kaiden's life would occur, and things got terrifying, very terrifying.
Phoebe. Hey. Phoebe. Where are you, girl? Phoebe. Phoebe. Hey, what's the matter, girl? Come here. What's the matter? Are you okay? Come here. Come on up. Phoebe, come on. Hey. What's the matter? Hey, come here. Come on. It's okay. What's the matter, girl? Come here. Come on. Come on. Come on up. Want a treat? Come on. Come here, peeps. Want a treat? Phoebe, what's the matter, girl? What's the matter? You okay? What do you hear? What is it? What is it, girl? Come here. Phoebe, come here. You okay, girl? What's the matter? What's the matter, honey? Do you hear something? Phoebe? Honey? Are you okay? What the hell was that? is that?
After hearing banging noises from up in the attic, Kaiden decided that he had to go and check what was up there in case of an intrusion. Since the pets were acting strange, it was likely that they could smell or hear someone that he couldn't, and so Kaiden wisely took the signs.
What? What the hell? There's definitely something up here. What? The hell? Jesus Christ. Christ.
Strangely, once Kaiden entered the attic, it was completely trashed, and he was devastated as a mess that big would not be easy to clean up. However, at the time, he was pleased that he found nothing up there, but still suspicious. It was when items started moving in front of his very own eyes that things started to become extraordinarily freaky. It's important to note that the light switch for the attic is inside it, so when they turned off, it was impossible for Kaiden to have done so. Something was up there, but he'll never know what. In the following video, a single man called Toby was getting ready to go to sleep when he supposedly noticed something looking at him through the window. Accompanying this sighting was the sound of a lady crying, which disturbed Toby for obvious reasons, and it definitely showed with his reaction.
Okay, look, I'm really tripping out now. Something was looking at me through the window, and I heard that lady crying again, coming out of the kitchen. I'm freaking the fuck out. the basement door. Fuck that. Fuck that. Here's something in this house. There's something in here. I'm telling you. Oh, fuck no, fuck no, fuck no, fuck no.
Now, in usual paranormal situations, the ghost would do something harmless but spooky, like move a chair to the side. However, in this crazy scenario, a knife was thrown at Toby, which could have caused some serious damage had it connected. Ghost experts theorized that the spirit wasn't trying to harm Toby, but just scare him. This explains why it delayed until he stepped back from the kitchen to launch such a dangerous item. Regardless, this is one of the most dangerous ghost sightings witnessed, and I doubt anyone would want to switch situations with this man, especially considering that this was only the beginning. After a long night struggling to sleep after the knife situation, Toby considered attempting communication with the ghost and eventually came to the conclusion that he would. He took out his TikTok camera and went downstairs to the living room, and then the moment of truth happened.
Monday, I think it's like the 5th or something. And about 6:30 in the morning. A little handle over there off my grinder come across the floor. It's my little pipe, my little billy club I keep around. They come rolling across the floor this morning. Been pretty quiet lately. I thought I heard voices earlier, but I wasn't sure. It's been pretty quiet for real till now, until a few minutes ago. And we'll see, I guess. Are you here this morning? What do you want? Can you talk to me? Let me know you're here. Okay, so you are here. What do you want? I'm not scared of you. Show yourself. Show yourself to me. I want to see who you are. No, I want to see who you are. Leave me alone. If you can't show me who you are, I want you to leave my house. Show me your face. Show me your face or leave my house. I demand it. No, go. Show me who you are or leave my house. I'm not afraid of you. What do you need? What do you want? Why do you keep bothering me? Are you still here? Hello? I'm not here to harm you, and I do not want you to harm me. Just tell me what you want. Who are you? Do you want me to leave this house? Is this your house? Do you want me to leave? Do you want me out of your house? No, because this is my house. I want you out of my house. If you can't show yourself, I want you to leave.
At first, the ghost cooperated with Toby and continuously moved a metal pole across the room to let him know it was listening. However, after some time, it clearly got bored and stopped entertaining his curiosity. The only sign of the spirit still being present in the later section of the video was when a small shadow appeared in the corner of the room. It's highly possible that something else cast this, but in the event that it was the ghost showing itself, Toby was in for a long day. Towards the end of the video, he claimed that he would upload more content of the sort and try to keep his followers updated on the experience. To our dismay though, he never updated anyone again, and no one knows why. Now, the next paranormal occurrence showcased on this video is actually the follow-up to a video that we've already covered on the channel. In that video, I explained how he searched 20 minutes for the cause of the knocking at his door, and this is the footage of him doing so.
Oh my god.
Weirdly, he found nothing lying around in the forest, despite the knocking being really loud and in a linear pattern. No animal is capable of doing this, so it's very odd that no person was discovered. As well as this, once the man arrived back at the house, his bedroom light was on all of a sudden, and a shadowed figure was standing behind the blinds. Quickly, he ran inside to confirm that there was an intruder, but to his dismay, nothing. This is when Sam really started to become convinced that a ghost was on his property. However, he was an evidence kind of guy, and without any, he couldn't be too sure. With time came his wish, though. A few days after the prior incident, Sam was watching television with his cat when the power completely cut out. He lived in a relatively rural area, and this kind of stuff was normal, so nothing was out of the ordinary though, until he realized the rest of his area still had their lights on. With this knowledge, he needed to investigate the power box, and things got creepy fast.
I just lost power in my house. I looked down the road and I saw lights on, so I think it's just me. I'm gonna go down to the breaker box and see what's up. You stay here, I'm gonna go get the power back on, okay? Everything looks okay. I guess I'm gonna have to call the power company. These were closed. These were 100% closed. I never leave these open. If there's someone or something here, I want you to prove it to me. I want you to close one of these doors. Come on! Oh, if I'm being honest, I'm glad nothing happened. Holy sh!
Once Sam decided to go upstairs and phone up the power company, loud banging noises started happening downstairs, and he assumed it was the cat. He quickly ran down the stairs to the source of the noises to find both the washing machine and the dishwasher flung open. This had no explanation. It was a ghost, and he knew it. Immediately, he beckoned the spirit to do it again and got excited too soon when it didn't at first. However, milliseconds after his victory call, the machine's door closed on its own accord. The following family had only been living in their house for 8 months and had never experienced anything supernatural in their life. They were all religious and had God on their side, which left them strong in the sense of not getting haunted. Despite this power though, on a random Tuesday, things got quite weird.
Dude, you hear that, right? Yeah. Alright guys, I have to start recording. We just moved in here last summer, and we keep hearing these things. Oh. Dude, you hear that, right? Yeah. Don't tell me it's just me. That's ridiculous, man. I don't know.
During a match of Street Fighter against his girlfriend Kayla, he started to hear aggressive banging noises coming from the kitchen and got fed up so went to check. Once he arrived into the kitchen, he scanned the room and found nothing before checking the garden, but this is when the paranormal activity was confirmed. Suddenly, another bang rang around the house, and with a fast reaction, the cameraman turned back into the kitchen to find 2 cabinets open. It's clearly caught on camera as he walks towards the garden that the cabinets were closed beforehand, which leaves little explanation as to why this happened. Feel free to try and solve it in the comments. Unless you put a ghost though, you're incorrect, because this wasn't the only clip that the man captured in the house. Just a few hours after halting the previous recording, the strange noises returned, and after some investigating, an apparition was caught.
Alright, I have to start recording again. I know I just heard something. You guys are seeing this, right? Gotta be joking me. What? You gotta be joking me. Oh, jeez.
Living in the house with the cameraman were 4 other people, so it was possible that the person behind the door was one of the children. However, it's extremely unlikely that the kid was fast enough to get away from the door as quickly as the apparition did, leaving no other explanations barring the supernatural. On October 16th of 2023, a father of 1 daughter heard crying from her room, so he decided to go and check on her. After searching the room, he found that there was nothing to be scared of and told his daughter it was probably a fly before going to bed. When he woke up the next morning though, he decided to check the cameras just to be safe in case something truly did happen. And beyond his craziest beliefs, something did. The lights in the girl's closet started flashing rapidly to the point that they managed to wake her up. We can see her climb from the bed to go and investigate the room, but the footage cuts before anything happens. The father claims that nothing happened from that point onwards, at least during that specific night. Over the next few weeks, he would closely monitor the cameras of the girls' rooms and relocate them every time something suspicious was caught. The following clip shows one of those instances. If listened to closely, a small knock could be heard, and after contacting experts, the family discovered that it came from underneath the girl's bed. It was at this moment that the family considered this spirit a threat, and eventually they would leave for good. It's unknown whether or not this move was successful. In the following video, Ashraf, a young adult, had lost a bet with his friend group, and his punishment was to enter an abandoned hospital for 20 minutes and film it as proof. If he failed his mission, then he would have to pay his entire friend group $100 each, which would have totaled up to nearly $1,000, money that he couldn't afford to lose. Upon entering the hospital, there was nothing in there, and he surprisingly felt a sense of warmth and comfort. It took just 10 minutes for this sense to be completely erased, though, and replaced with something horrible.
Escuchen, no manchen. Hoy. A lo mejor es el aire, amigos. A lo mejor es el aire. A lo mejor es el aire que está dando el abanico. Y él se regresó por el otro lado. No, mire que amigos, fue mi imaginación. O se regresó por el otro lado, amigos. Ve cómo se desenfoca. ¿Alguien está aquí? ¿Alguien está aquí? Escucho que camina alguien. Escucho que camina alguien. Se quedó parado. Se quedó parado.
Somehow, the ceiling fan started to rotate on its own accord, except not the way it was meant to. Ceiling fans are meant to spin rapidly to generate cold air and waft it into humans. However, this one was moving eerily slowly, almost like something was pushing it, rather than an electric current doing the trick. Dolls are some of the creepiest children's toys known to man, and it's obvious why this agenda has been pushed to us all. Many horror films that include paranormal activity showcase dolls in their most creepy forms, possession, and sometimes these evil phenomenons are captured outside of Hollywood. In the following video, a trio were in the garden looking into their collection of dolls as they were certain that there was an eerie feeling surrounding them all. Just before they started recording, the doll in pink moved its arm, but that was nothing compared to its next trick.
Interesting. I really don't know what to make of these dolls. I know that they all are haunted dolls. I'm pretty much 100% sure now that they are all haunted for sure. I mean, we already know that the big one is because we've seen her move in my office. All you fans out there have seen her do something. I'm not taking her with me when I move, so if any of you are interested in that doll, please let me know, because I don't want to keep her, but I'd like her to go to a good home. I mean, if there's somebody out there that's interested. I don't... Did that fucking thing just move?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, are you fucking kidding me?
Her freaking face just moved towards you.
Oh my god, Heather.
Like that legitly just moved.
Oh
Did you
my
see
god.
that?
Yeah,
Clay, did you see that shit?
When you said you're not taking her with you.
Oh my god.
What was that?
I don't know, I just
I
heard
just
that.
heard a girl's voice.
Are you serious? That wasn't one of you?
No.
Oh my god. Oh my god,
my
she
God.
really just move?
Her face.
Oh hell no.
What the hell, Mom?
Oh my god. Heather, I got the cold chills from the top of my head to
Yeah,
my
I have-
freaking toe. Oh my god.
What the hell?
Oh my god, I cannot believe this shit.
I know, this is just insane.
This is freaking crazy, Heather.
You guys
She
will
actually
see her dog
moved.
move, and then this wind chime behind us just went crazy. Like, I don't know what to think of this. And then this doll here definitely
Wow.
moved.
I'm like blown away here. I am so blown away. The fuck is that? What is that?
The wind.
Two huge things happened in this recording that could not be ignored. First of all, whilst the eldest of the three was discussing passing the doll onto a new owner who was interested in haunted memorabilia, it tilted its head perfectly in her direction, perhaps indicating resentment towards the idea of having a new home. After this, the spirit presence started to ring the bells in the back garden, forcing them all to turn around in fear. Whatever was haunting them didn't only have control of the dolls, it had control of everything around them. The family did end up moving house in the end, and passed the doll onto a collector of creepy items. He loved it to pieces, and kept it in a clear box to observe its movements, etc. At least some fun was found out of it. In the video you're about to watch, a group of people who call themselves the memorable supernatural INC were investigating a building which had been home to several reports of supernatural activity over the past month. So much had gone on there that it was mandatory for someone to come and see what the problem was, hence why the group were called down to take a look. They were chosen due to their huge reliability and cheap rates, making them a perfect fit for a mid-range investigation like this. Despite being labeled a mid-level search though, the events that unfolded took it way above this status. Take a look.
Você quer me matar do susto, velho? Rapaz do céu, mano. Eu ri o Lula porque eu tô aqui, pessoal. Essa claridade pega no meu, eu não consigo ver. Igual da outra vez, ó. A luz pega, eu não consigo ver, pessoal. Não adianta o negócio aqui, fica no olho, ó. Eu não consigo ver. Rapaz do céu, moço. Rapaz, você é louco, moço. Pessoal, vou ser sincero pra vocês, cara. O coração quase voou na boca agora, mano. Você é louco? Olha, minha nossa! Olha isso! Cara do céu! Olha isso! Olha isso! Olha isso, cara! Impressionante! Isso aqui abriu, cara! Abriu aqui, ó! Rapaz! Você é louco? Ô Lúcio, você vai fazer o seguinte, você vai tirar essa camiseta, pera aí, não tira não. Você vai pôr outra camiseta aqui, ó. Toma essa aqui, você vai pôr essa aqui mesmo. Pega essa aí, você vai tirar, não tira ainda não. Eu não posso filmar, senão vai me dar problema aqui no YouTube. Você vai tirar essa camiseta, você põe essa outra. Pelo que tá acontecendo aqui, entendeu? Pode ser que seja algo na roupa, mas você vai tirar essa camiseta, você põe essa.
Somehow, the cabinet shot open without any human interaction and even closed itself, meaning that something or someone must have done it. The only problem was that nothing was in sight. After experiencing this, the man looked inside the cabinet to investigate what he could find, but nothing was on the other side. Not even the wind can make things move like that. He quickly ended that specific tape and sent it over to his boss, who was compiling a file for the people paying them to do this job. This evidence would be minor compared to the other things they would capture though. Later on in the day, the group decided to have a little rest, as they had been searching for the entire day when a disturbance decided to disrupt them. It was very weird and looked extremely unnatural. Even the experts back in their company couldn't explain what kind of spirit caused it.
Você vai tirar a camiseta aí, ok, Lúcio? Isso, vai com jeito, tira a camiseta. É isso, Lúcio. Tá dando certo aí? Vamos lá. Não posso filmar você tirando, tá certo. É isso. Bom, vamos estar com outra camiseta agora, pessoal. Opa, cadê a camiseta, Lúcio? Cadê a camiseta, velho? Cadê a camiseta? Aonde, moço? Aonde, velho? Rapaz, caça aí, cadê a camiseta? Moço, onde foi parar?
Eu tinha posto aqui a camiseta, eu troquei por ele aqui. Pode ver ali, ó, não tá ali. Ai, meu Deus do céu.
Minha nossa, dá uma olhada aí atrás.
Aí.
Olha isso, pessoal. Cara do céu, velho. Arrasta o sofá. Arrasta esse sofá. Arrasta.
Shockingly, the carpet slung itself off from the sofa onto the floor, and the duo in the room were taken very aback from this. They called for the other 3 people upstairs to come and see if they could detect something, but by the time they arrived on scene, all evidence of a sighting was gone. Now the group had more than enough evidence of paranormal activity, and they decided to give one big attempt to get rid of whatever was haunting the property. Their contract with the house owner stated that if they were able to get rid of the spirit, then they would be paid an additional $300, a bonus that no man could possibly turn down. They set up their equipment in the kitchen and gave one big attempt. It's up to you to decide how that went in the comments.
Veja que eu levanto o braço aqui, mas eu tava olhando pra ela, não queria perder um momento aqui. Você sentiu algo aqui agora? Quem é que está aqui neste lugar? O que você sentiu, Lúcio?
lá fui, parece que tinha algo perto atrás de mim.
O que é isso? O que é que você tá sentindo?
Cara, viu uma coisa esquisita, parece que tem algo.
Tá tremendo a mão, Lúcio? Olha o jeito da vela, cara. É torta ou não é, pessoal? Hã? Meu nome é Ulisses Deadline. E eu sei que minha presença desloca espíritos obscuros de lugares e cantos como esse. Quem é que está aqui? Opa, que é isso? Que é isso?
Ai, meu Deus do céu.
Rapaz!
Ai.
Minha nossa, vocês viram o jeito que mexeu isso aqui, cara? Cara, é impressionante. Minha nossa. Você é louco? Lúcio, calma, Lúcio. Calma. Eu vou estar fazendo uma limpeza aqui no local. Cara, eu tô inteiro arrepiado, cara. É impressionante ou não é? É impressionante ou não é? Olha isso. Olha isso. Rapaz. Deixa eu ficar com o Lúcio aqui, ó. Eu vou estar fazendo uma limpeza aqui neste local. Nós vamos estar fazendo uma limpeza aqui nesse local, Lúcio. Cara, é impressionante ou não é? Você é louco pra mim, deu.
In the middle of their ritual to communicate with the ghost and identify its reason for being present, the chairs started moving, and this wasn't a good sign. While you are communicating with a ghost, it's a bad sign if it begins to move objects without being prompted to do so. This was happening here and closed their report for the day. The group decided that $300 wasn't enough to deal with a ghost of this manner. Their negotiations failed, and the owner looked for someone else to do the trick. This man was home alone when suddenly the lights started to flicker all around him. He had no idea what to do, so he instinctively reached for his phone to record what was going to happen next. If he didn't, then there was no doubt he would be called crazy by anyone he dared to share the story with. He explained after the incident that it was the spookiest moment of his life and he wouldn't get paid to live it again. Let me know if you think he was exaggerating in the comments. I certainly don't.
Amigo, o estoy loco o se está moviendo la mesa del comedor sola. Mira. O sea, ¿ves? ¿Ves que se está moviendo eso? Y la mesa recién se estaba moviendo ahí, boludo. Mirá, 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 boludo. ¿Qué mierda? What the fuck?
The table moved very aggressively in a way which could have quite easily harmed the man behind the camera. He claimed that a feeling of cold wept over him as the table moved and his hairs stood up on his arms, both common signs that a spirit was having some good fun. The next day, the same man was on his sofa in the living room watching television, and all of a sudden the air purifier unplugged itself. Following the same sequence as the day before, he took out his camera and started filming to see what evidence he could gather. And to his dismay, it wasn't good.
Amigo, ¿te acordás que te dije que tengo un espíritu en mi casa, chabón? Mirá la silla. ¿Ves, boludo? ¡Ay, qué impresión, amigo!
The chair moved right in front of his eyes, which proved to everyone he wanted to share the event with that nothing he said was fake. Whatever this ghost was, it was safe for the man to say that it wasn't a shy one. Alex, an adult fairly new into the adult world, had recently inherited his grandma's house, and he was pleased that she decided to pass it on to him. He had been really struggling financially since finishing college and never managed to get into university, so an inherited place to stay was the most helpful thing in the world. Although pleased with his property though, he was of course upset about his grandma's passing and cried quite frequently about it. They were very attached when he was younger. He was going to miss her, but little did he know that she was right next to him.
Okay, I am up here where all the different, like, scary activity has happened, and I'm hearing what sounds like somebody walk around on the floorboards. As I'm up here, I can feel, like, the pressure of steps landing around me. I don't really know what's going on. It just seems pretty fucking crazy to me. I don't know. This is not what I signed up for when I got this house.
Whilst walking around upstairs, the perfect silhouette of his grandma was standing in the doorway, and after slowing it down, Alex was even more certain that he knew what he was looking at. Upon alarming the rest of his family, though, they explained that he was in a time of grief, and what he captured was probably just a reflection or a shadow, essentially deeming him to be crazy. Do you agree? Give your thoughts down below and subscribe whilst you're down there. Storage buildings are some of the most eerie places someone can visit. Take that from someone who used to visit them every other day. These places are literal corridors that stretch very far and usually have nobody else on them, making it feel empty. It's the closest thing humanity has to the back rooms, and that's saying something. In the upcoming clip, Wayne and Manuel, two owners of a business, were next to their storage unit, adding some new stock to it that they had just received. Little did they know, though, that someone else was in there, and they couldn't even see who.
Se escucha adentro, güey. Se la verga, güey.
Randomly, the sound of a child crying and screaming echoed around the storage place, and this was creepy for many reasons. Either a real child was in pain and needed help, or a paranormal spirit was messing with them. The latter was the more likely option. Over the past week, Juan had been hearing the same noises at night, and he was sure to alert his business partner that this was the case. Hurriedly, they closed their storage unit and locked it before hurrying out of the building. On their way out, they questioned the receptionist on whether or not they heard the noise, and the answer they got was shocking. The woman had not heard a peep. Home they went. Once they arrived home, Juan decided to do some paperwork in his office and closed the door to make sure no disturbances took him out of his working state of mind. However, something was already in there with him, and it did exactly what he wanted to avoid. Out of the blue, tons of items started falling off shelves, and no, there was not a magnitude 10 earthquake going on. In fact, there wasn't an earthquake at all. The duo still deal with the so-called storage spirit to this day and have no idea how to get rid of it. Feel free to help them in the comments in case they see this. On October the 25th of 2023, nearing 10 p.m., a family were all settling down before getting ready for bedtime. The mother was laying down in the living room after a long day of work while the kids were all talking to each other at the table, full of energy, as always. The night was one of the most normal ones the family had ever had. Barely any arguments and a couple of tired parents, however, things were going to get weird much quicker than expected. Randomly, some demonic noises started to be heard, and the mother of the family asked the children what they were doing. She was used to them messing around and causing chaos, so of course they were the first people she pinned blame onto. However, they denied everything. Too tired to argue, the woman rolled back into rest, but this is when the entire sofa moved out of the blue. Stuff like that does not happen naturally. There must have been a ghost present. In the following video, a young and innocent girl was showing off her doll's cutlery when it suddenly decided to show its gratitude. She owned the doll for over 6 years, and her parents insisted on purchasing some new cosmetics every month if she was good. She had just received some at the time of this recording. It was approximately 3 p.m. when she decided to show the new cutlery set, and things got creepy fast.
Cuchilla. Ahora tengo 2 tenedores así, uno rosita, igual que el cuchillo que mostré al principio, no sé si lo mostré al principio, y este tenedor amarillo. Pues tener, se me está cayendo todo, perdón, se me está cayendo todo. 2 cuchillos amarillos iguales, tenemos otro cuchillo amarillo, pero más como amarillo flúor. Una cuchara, un rosquete para aplanar masa, una cucharita y un tenedor. Bueno, ya. Después, las tacitas. Tengo esta tacita rosita y esta tacita como fucsia. Huevo y
Strangely, the doll moved, and at first the girl didn't notice what had happened. Confused, she turned back to the camera and continued to show off her new collection, but the doll definitely wanted some recognition for its acts. It moved again, this time right in front of the poor girl's eyes, and she instinctively ran to her mother. We haven't been updated since, but what we do know is that she hasn't uploaded any doll videos. On December 26th of 2023, Isaiah, a middle-aged man, was left home alone for the night. His girlfriend called Caroline was out with some of her friends all evening and left Isaiah in charge of the house, which she admitted wasn't the smartest decision of her life. Her boyfriend was about as responsible as a toddler, and all she could do was pray that he wouldn't do anything stupid. Little did she know, though, that he would turn out to be the last of her worries, because just a few hours after leaving the house, this happened to Isaiah. For some strange reason, the door closed behind him once he entered the guest bedroom, followed by a banging sound from across the corridor. Out of pure fear, Isaiah ran back into his bedroom and locked the door behind him to prevent any unwanted entities from following him. Nothing else occurred that night, and he was too afraid to let his girlfriend know in case she blamed it on him and overreacted. The following video took place in a Russian household and featured a family taking some time to simply relax in their living room. They were watching some television together and discussing what board game they were going to play afterwards, with the group consensus leading to charades. But little did they know that they wouldn't even get to that stage before some weird stuff started happening. Immediately after these events, the family concluded that it must have been their grandma who was rushed to hospital after having a heart attack in the same house they were in. Unfortunately, she did not survive, and her loved ones had only recently come to terms with that fact. At least they knew now that she was still with them spiritually. The next day, most of the family had departed back to their own homes after the huge get-together, leaving the 5 who lived there and the grandfather of the family. It was roughly 3 p.m. when the boys were dismissed from the living room by their parents after keeping their grandfather company for a few hours. In their room, they sat down slandering their parents for not letting them do what they wanted earlier, and their grandmother clearly wasn't a fan of their words because she struck again, and this time she was just as prominent.
Бля, короче, ребята, нахуй, вызвали, блядь, демона. Кот, нахуй, под столом, блядь. Творится полная херня. Ёпта, бля.
Вот, блядь, дверь, сука, открылась только что, нахуй.
Бля!
Ёбаный в рот. Ебать, сука.
Нахуй, Герман, блядь, что происходит вообще?
Пиздец, я чё, ебу, что ли? Нахуй, сука.
Ёбаный.
Бля. Пиздец, нахуй, сука.
Бля, Герман. Нахуй. Бля. Короче, ребята, все, прощаемся, бля, творится полный пиздейшн, нахуй, бежим.
Somehow, several objects started to fall from countless shelves, and the 2 boys were in pure disbelief as to what to do. They sat there shouting curse words and calling the creature who caused this a demon, completely unaware of the likelihood that it was their grandmother, which the rest of the family pointed out earlier. After this bizarre incident, the boys sprinted downstairs and informed their father of what happened, and he believed them instantly considering what unfolded the day before. The mother offered the grandfather a lift home as he was terrified after hearing that things were continuing, and he accepted the offer. They both left the house, leaving the 2 boys and the father. He told them both to go to the guest room and avoid theirs whilst he cooked some dinner, so his wife had it ready when she arrived home. Even this didn't sneak by without a paranormal event, though.
Сейчас пытаюсь понять, что происходит, но какие-то аномальные явления непонятные, что у меня со стола падает всякая хрень, и вот сейчас на кухне пытаюсь поставить телефон. Оба-на! Заебись! Удачный момент.
Out of nowhere, the glass on the tabletop fell to the floor without shattering or even being damaged one bit. This was very odd, because the odds of a glass surviving a drop that high are very slim, so perhaps the ghost perfectly cushioned its fall. We'll never know. All we do know is that this has been the last publicly shared ghost encounter from the family for 6 months now, and we have no idea if they'll post another. You bet that if they do, though, I will be the first person to let you all know, so make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. This French woman was filming a TikTok using some form of medical injection. It is unknown why she was filming this video, but the likelihood is that she was educating people who might share the illness she obtained, which was very nice of her. However, during this video, one very strange thing happens, which is actually very difficult to detect. In fact, it was so hard to uncover that I had to refer to the comments to find out what was wrong, but fortunately for you, I'll explain after you watch it for yourself. first glance, the only disturbing thing about this clip seems to be her reaction to the banging as if some spirit had caused it. It was likely due to construction happening on her road or something. However, when you zoom in at the timestamp of 37 seconds, a hand could be seen poking out of the door and quickly taking cover again. The hand was slim and very skinny, in fact so skinny that you wouldn't be able to tell it was owned by a human being. Not that it was anyway. This was the arm of a spirit, and if this wasn't enough evidence for you, no need to worry. She posted 3 more clips to her account over the following week, with the first one being a day after. Since the woman didn't initially notice what had happened, her audience were fast to flood her comments warning her of their sighting, and she was spooked after investigating the clip. Putting her brave boots on though, she revisited the room that she filmed the video in immediately after being made aware of the incident and set up her camera from a different angle. This is what happened.
Il est 3h du matin et j'arrive pas à dormir parce que j'entends tellement de bruit dans la maison que j'ai l'impression qu'elle est en travaux. Ce qui m'a empêché de dormir, c'est une porte qui claque. Il n'y a pas de vent. J'ai trouvé cette photo qui est une carte postale qui date de 1922. Truc de fou. Mais du coup, il y a plein d'objets anciens dans la maison que je retrouve au fil du temps. Et j'ai l'impression que la maison, elle a une histoire de fou malade. Genre, clairement, c'est un truc de ouf. Genre, regardez. Il y a encore des bruits, les gars, c'est dingue.
To start things off, the painting was slightly slanted, which made 0 sense considering it was never positioned like that and never tilted the way it did. Regardless, the woman pinned her logical excuse as the pin coming a bit loose, so she went to fix it, but a strange item fell from the back, which is soon to be uncovered. This item was so weird that it even took the woman time to decipher its purpose, and I'm sure it will do the same to you. Anyways, after fixing the portrait, she looked back at the door that contained the hand all those days ago and looked visibly shocked. Perhaps she saw the hand again? We never got told, but what we did get informed on was what the item behind the painting in fact was. It was a key. For the next few days, she tried to find out which door the key fitted, and eventually came to the conclusion that it was for the attic, which she had never entered due to the landlord saying the key was lost. This was very mysterious, and she went to unlock the door, but unfortunately, it did not work. This left only one possible outcome: the basement.
C'est une blague. C'est quoi ce bordel? Les gars, vous avez entendu? Eh, je regarde même pas. Ma porte, elle était ouverte. En plus, on voit rien. Je vous jure, j'ai des frissons. J'espère que c'est pas là-bas, j'espère que c'est pas là-bas. J'espère que c'est pas là-bas, j'espère que c'est pas là-bas. Elle sent le fer, mais vraiment, elle est toute vieille. Même mes mains, maintenant, ça sent. Ah, il y a des moustiques en plus. C'est rentré, les gars. C'est quoi ce truc? Oh! C'est quoi ce bordel? Non, 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 non. Non, non.
same as the attic, the woman was never given access to the basement due to the previous owners losing the key. She knew that this was its purpose. She could feel it. At around 11 p.m., she creeped down the basement stairs, feeling a hint of fear, but letting her curiosity get the better of her. The door unlocked, but she never got to see what was behind it. At least that was the case on this day. For the next couple of days, she was too frightened to visit the basement again, in fear that the door would slam on her again. She contacted her best friend for advice, and she suggested that the thing slamming the door could have been an intruder, so this left her with no choice whatsoever. She put a gun in her pocket and ventured back.
On m'a toujours dit d'être rationnel, on m'a toujours dit c'est du vent, c'est du vent, c'est du vent. C'est pas possible. Allez, ça y est. Ouh, je vais y tomber. C'était du vent. Ok. C'était juste du vent. C'est quoi ce bruit? Il y a des moustiques en plus. C'est quoi cet endroit? Il y a des trucs en plus. Il y a quelqu'un? C'est quoi cet endroit? Mais attendez. J'ai jamais vu ça. Pourquoi il y a une échelle ici? Il y a encore un truc. Mais c'est un truc de malade. Oh, les gars, attendez. Il y a une pierre dehors comme ça. Ça mène à la rue. Les gars, ça mène à la rue. Il y a des gens dehors qui rentrent ici. Non, c'est une blague. En plus, regardez, il y a un truc qui a pété là-bas et tout. C'est sûr, c'est utilisé. Attendez, mais il y a des gens qui rentrent. En plus, il y a un drap en plein milieu. Ça sert à rien, ce truc. Non, ça y est. Non.
This time, she managed to successfully enter the basement, but it looked more like a cave than anything. She remembered her landlord explaining that there used to be a bomb shelter under the house, but everybody passed away inside it one day. Perhaps this is why the basement had such a weird feeling to it. It was the bomb shelter. The woman locked the door back up and vowed to never enter it again and disturb the entities inside. Whether she stuck to that promise, we don't know, but if she didn't, I highly doubt that the spirits gave her a break. Ashraf, a young ghost hunter new to the business, had been hired out by a company who were planning on renovating an old and abandoned hospital. The CEO of the company had their suspicions that the building had some sort of haunted entity inside it, but wasn't quite sure what. This is why they contacted Ashraf's business to do the trick, and they chose him for his first rodeo. It went well. I'll let you decide for yourself.
Nos íbamos a ir y se escuchó un bebé. ¿Se escucha? Es un bebé, güey. ¿Hay alguien?
Strangely, the sound of a baby crying could be heard, and this was very unsettling for Ash. He expected to be recording moving objects and things of the sort, but hearing a child cry, his eyes out definitely didn't float his boat. He reported back to his boss, showing the footage of the sound, and he got scolded for not going further into the facility for some more. He received a pay cut, but did not get fired. He is now contemplating seeking work elsewhere though. He still wants to give the ghost gig a few extra tries first. This employee was doing her shift at her local convenience store, and everything was running smoothly. She was in the process of restocking some out-of-stock shelves before the store opened to the public again, but little did she know that this would turn out to be a very difficult task. This chore was known by the employees as the easiest one around, and anybody given it was being let off the hook for the day. However, this time was much different, and the reason why was very peculiar. Take a look.
Vean. Ahí ya empezaron a abrirse también. Vean, observen. Híjole. Vamos a tratar de no acercarnos, Jorgito, porque... Vean cómo se están abriendo las puertas. Vamos a ver de aquel lado. Ahí se ve cómo se están abriendo y cerrando. Toda la tarde ha estado pasando esto, y inclusive ya hay gente que se dio cuenta, clientes. Y híjole, la verdad sí es un poco temeroso. Ya le hablé a mi supervisor para que, vean, ya le hablé a mi supervisor para que viniera a ver esto que está pasando. No me cree, pero digo, quedó de venir, hasta ahorita no ha venido. Y no nos hemos atrevido a ir a la parte de atrás en la cámara porque pues nos da un poco de temor, ¿no? Porque pues esto es algo sobre...
Somehow, the refrigerator doors took in turns opening and closing, which was an impossible event to happen without any human interaction. At least, that is what society deemed it to be, because it happened. Theorists suggest that a spirit was in the room doing this, and some more information given to us by the creator further backed up these claims. They explained that the room had a cold feeling to it immediately after the first door opened, and this is a common sign of a paranormal entity being present. Whatever they encountered that day was not nice, and they most certainly didn't want to see it in the store again. On a fateful winter night, two brave men ventured to their local graveyard to give their grandma's tombstone a visit. She had been gone for 3 years now, and this was what they called her death anniversary. In their family, they celebrated the lives of their passed away loved ones on the day they left, and it was a very wholesome and cool idea. Nothing had ever gone wrong while they hosted these days, and it seemed harmless, until their grandma came to give them a visit. At least they assumed it was her. I guess they'll never know for sure.
Entidad nos cierra esta puerta, miren lo que pasó.
Sí, se mira bien allá. Sí. Si estás aquí con nosotros, manifiéstate. Queremos verte. Queremos saber que estás aquí. Mira, mucho. ¿Lo viste?
Sí, se cerró. ¿Estás aquí con nosotros?
¡Uy! ¿Quién eres? Se cerró la puerta, güey. Se acaba de cerrar la puerta, neta. Se miró bien clarito que se cerró. Mira. ¿Hay alguien aquí adentro?
¿Quieres jugar con nosotros?
Niño, ¿dónde estás?
¿Quieres jugar con nosotros?
Mira, güey. Mira.
Está moviendo más.
Güey, ¿qué? Se está moviendo, güey. No manches, güey, se está moviendo. Mira, pues no hay nada, güey. Mira, ay. Niño, ¿en qué parte te encuentras?
The fence surrounding their grandma's grave opened by itself, and then immediately closed, which freaked the duo out to an insane extent. At first they were ready to turn around and make a run for it, but they decided to stay, in case it truly was the spirit of their gran. For a few moments afterwards, peace was present, and nothing really happened, but it didn't take long for strange noises to start playing around the yard. This phenomenon still cannot be explained to this day, and the duo are sure of themselves that they encountered their grandma. Again though, they'll never know. Roughly 3 years ago today, a young man who worked at the hospital captured a piece of footage that sent the hospital staff crazy. Alongside social media, the clip was so unexplainable that nobody knew what the next step should be, despite trying very hard to come up with a logical solution for it. It took place in Manzanillo Hospital, and the man who filmed the event was so frightened from it that he was dismissed as a doctor in that specific clinic and worked in a room on the first floor. Have a watch. Now at first glance it was very hard to determine what actually happened here, but after digging deeper, I found out for you guys, which is why you should subscribe. 14 seconds into the clip, the head of a human being, except faint and dull, peeped around at the doctor, and he was left standing in disbelief. At first, the hospital launched a full search for an intruder, but no one was found on site, and the mystery is still empty to this day. Trains are usually really safe methods of transport, with safety precautions implemented all across them. There is one huge problem with this transport method though, and it's that when the night falls, they change completely. What usually turns out to be a relaxed and speedy train journey morphs into a spooky and isolated night, where creeps and criminals run galore in the carriages. The upcoming clip was recorded at 11:30 p.m. during the dark hours of public transport, and let's just say that it lived up to the fear I've just described it to induce. Randomly, the sound of a girl screaming could be heard from inside the man's carriage, and of course, he was super confused. He looked left and right to try and spot whoever it was, in case he could provide help, but no one else was inside it. An important note is that that specific train hosted one carriage as well, so the noise mustn't have been from on board. When the man arrived home, he scanned the news to research if anything happened on the route he was traveling that night, and no articles were discovered. Could this have truly been a spirit? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. On October the 13th of 2023, Miguel was having the best day of his life. He had received so many good deeds on that day that he said he couldn't compare it to another day in his life, and it was by far his favorite, until a spirit came and ruined it all. Life was literally going perfect, and seemingly nothing was against him on this specific October 13th, but all of this was moments away from no longer being the reality. The start of this clip can easily be blamed on the wind, but trust me, it gets much more real as time goes on.
Son casi las 3 de la mañana. Escuché a alguien, pero literalmente llamándome. Acá. Ahí está. No sé si se escuchará. Literalmente creo que me llamaron por mi nombre. Yo estaba medio dormido. No les voy a mentir. Me da miedo. Voy a tratar de captar. Es como mi método de defensa, ¿viste? Quiero ver si... Quiero ver si se ve algo, ¿no? Ay, mira. Esto que está acá me pasa siempre. Eso lo... No sé si llega. Andate, hijo de puta. De puta.
Despite the moving objects, Miguel wasn't completely convinced that something out of the ordinary was happening since there was a slight breeze in the air. However, seconds after making the decision in his head to go back inside, a tall, unnatural shadow figure stood right in front of him, and it was very intimidating. Using survival instincts, Miguel launched a pot at the figure, but it didn't move an inch. In fact, it went through and hit the shed door behind. It vanished shortly after, but Miguel couldn't unsee it and still can't to this day. These two Japanese men were approached by a real estate agent, offering them the deal of their lifetime. They put a pretty big house on the table for a fee way below average, and knowledgeably, the duo knew that something was fishy due to the deal being so unrealistic. They actually owned a YouTube channel titled Japanese Horror Entertainment and made a lot of their money exploring haunted locations, so they immediately thought of ghosts when questioning why the house was valued at such a low cost. They were right, and they were about to prove it through an investigation. It was roughly 3:30 in the morning when the upcoming clip was captured, and it was posted to their YouTube channel, which I mentioned earlier, Japanese Horror Entertainment. If you want to watch the full 20-minute experience, it's available on YouTube at OMG Film, and we're only covering a very small segment. At the door, an unsettling face could be seen squashing itself against the glass. Initially, the man stood there in silence and made sure to get a good shot of the face, but eventually he decided to walk towards it. Once he got close though, it vanished out of thin air. Fishing is an activity practiced for many reasons. Some people do it in the wild for survival, needing the fresh meat that the sea creatures require to survive. On the other hand, people simply do it as a leisure activity, finding fun in catching what they can, and then releasing them back in the water to continue their life. In the video you are about to watch, the man was out catching fish for fun when something extremely disturbing happened upon arrival back to his base camp. The area had a toilet block, which was unisex and public to any people passing by. This is why the man was so concerned once he heard what he did coming from inside.
Yo, what the f- What the? Bro. There's nobody in here. Yo!
Strangely, the sound of a human, seemingly a female, screaming echoed around the base camp, and this was very disturbing. Being the brave man the fisher was though, he decided to enter the bathroom in case someone genuinely needed help. This was when he found nobody though. Graveyards are the most likely places in the world for someone to experience paranormal activity, and this is why they are such spooky locations at nighttime. Wandering around these places gives off an eerie feeling, and it is understandable why, considering how many dead people lie underneath you. The following video was captured in a graveyard and showcases one of the rare scenarios where a ghost was caught in the act on camera. Take a look.
Espíritu, alguna entidad, algún demonio de este lugar, quiero que me hagas un ruido y estás aquí conmigo. Solamente queremos ahí te encuentras con nosotros. Te estoy invocando y estás aquí conmigo. Solamente quiero saber que estás aquí conmigo. Ay, ya madre, no mames, no mames. Uy, oh madre, no manchen, no manchen, no manchen, no manchen, no manchen, no manchen. No manchen, no manchen, no manchen. Uy, oh madre. Uy, yo sé que te encuentras aquí. Yo sé que te encuentras en este lugar, queremos verte. Yo sé que te encuentras aquí. Ay, me dio miedo. Solamente queremos saber quién eres, qué es lo que necesitas. ¿Qué es lo que necesitas? Vieron, amigos, vieron.
Weirdly, the door opened on its own accord, and after revealing what was behind it, things got even scarier. Nothing. The fact that there was nothing visible in the area meant that something from the dead side of the world was tampering with the man that night, and it's safe to say he didn't enjoy it. These two women were getting ready to leave the house, but little did they know what was about to happen if they followed through. They had both been invited to their friend's 40th birthday party and had spent the entire morning getting ready for the event. They did their makeup, purchased new dresses, and even went as far as buying a very expensive present. It was undoubtedly going to be an amazing night, at least until they checked the cameras afterwards. Just as they left the room to leave for the party, they got a notification for movement in their room and decided to leave it and look later. Thank the Lord they did. Somehow, an item moved by itself the second they left, and they still haven't found out why to this day. The ashes of loved ones are often kept by families to always remember those who passed away. When someone dies, they have the option to be cremated or buried, and they make this choice prior to death. If they choose to be cremated, then the family has the option to keep hold of the ashes from the burning, and the owner of the upcoming Airbnb did this. He decided to place the ashes on the piano because she always loved to play it at night, but the guests of the Airbnb far from loved it. Confused? Watch the clip.
Okay, I usually do not, or I never have believed in like haunted stuff, okay? But I'm out at Skinny Atlas Lake, the Fingers Lakes in upstate New York. And the Airbnb I'm staying at, the guy did say, just FYI, we do have people say that they hear a piano play at night. And I thought it was bullshit. And I swear to God, I've heard it. It plays. There's nobody fucking in here. I'm going to walk over here. So in case I die, I have a documentation of it, okay? It's an old house. It's on a beautiful lake, though. But I did find out the guy who owns the place, daughter died in a car wreck. And her ashes are on the piano. God, I get chills. But that's the piano. And it plays at night. And it freaks me out. I have chill bumps just being in this room. I do not get a good vibe. But it's scary as shit.
Supposedly, the piano started playing at night, and the story is believable considering how dark the piano was, looming in the shadows. However, some people need to see it to believe it, and the creator of this video posted a second, actually capturing the piano on camera whilst it played. Undeniable proof.
I'm fucking telling you, this place is fucking haunted. Do you heard that?
Yeah, I can't do this shit. This is so scary.
No, you go in there with me.
Yes.
You have to go first.
Stay behind me. Fuck you. It keeps playing, I swear. No, dude, I'm not going up in that bitch. It's this piano, I swear to God it is. No, dude, you got me fucked up. If I die, I swear, I will. Oh, God. Oh, shit! Dude, no.
After the two men argued for a moment over who would go first, they eventually went into the room and nothing happened, but not for long. A singular note was played on the piano, and they were both sent running to the local bar to drink their fear away. It took them 3 hours to return. On November 16th of 2013, Marcus, a young man, was in his apartment with his roommate when one of the weirdest things of his life happened. It was getting late, and he and Johnny, the roommate, decided they would go to sleep, so they had enough energy for their early lecture the next day. They brushed their teeth, washed their faces, and followed their regular routines before going to their beds. This is the exact moment that the apartment suddenly filled with cold.
Rato que escuché algo, ¿viste? Uy. Uy. No. Voy a prender la luz. Uy. A ver algo en el baño. El vaso. Uy, chamo. Ronnie, parate, chamo. Hey. Ronnie. Uy, la luz. Chamo, parate. Hey, Ronnie. ¡Ay! ¡Ay, chamo! ¡Uy! ¡Chamo! ¡Chamo, parate!
For some unknown reason, the door to the closet moved in Marcus's room, and he didn't know how to react other than beckoning for his roommate's assistance. Moments after ending the recording, Johnny stormed into the room, and all of a sudden the feeling of coldness left the household. Marcus still vividly remembers the event to this day, and always tells it as a story. Children's songs can be the most wholesome things on the planet. They educate kids on all sorts of things and help them develop in general, serving the same purpose as children's stories. However, in some scenarios, these heartwarming tunes can turn into gut-wrenching nightmares and make things extremely demented. You see, at night, when there is nobody around, all these songs do is add to the eerie feeling that a ghost is hovering around the area, and in the following video, this was most definitely the case.
No puede ser, no. ¿A qué? ¿Me vas a comer? No, me vas a comer. Me vas a comer bien la pija, ¿sabes? Ya paranormal. Yo huevo, Ahí va. Tuki, Ahí está. Perfecto, ahí está. Actividad paranormal. La verga. No, chúpame.
Disturbingly, the vehicle started playing the popular song Baby Shark, except it wasn't the same as usual. It made the room cold and tormented the victim so much that he was forced to put it outside. This is when things escalated to the next level and the door started knocking. He needed to stop recording and fueling the creature. He explained afterwards that the knocking continued for a good 17 minutes before coming to a halt, and he was given peace for the rest of the night. To his daughter's dismay though, he threw the vehicle into the trash, but made it up to her by purchasing a new one the next week. All he could do was hope that it wouldn't also be haunted. After purchasing the new bike for his daughter, things went fine for a solid week. He became so convinced that the house had no spirits in it that he finally turned off the air purifier, which he believed would help them. Little did he know that this was the worst mistake of his life, because just 3 hours after doing this act, all hell broke loose.
Estaba escuchando unos ruidos que venían de la pieza acá. ¿Por qué mierda esto siempre tiene que pasar a la noche, hermano? Siempre tiene que pasar a la noche, brother. ¿Vos qué onda? ¿Vas a hablar ahora vos? ¿Vas a hablar? ¿Eh? No vas a hablar, no vas a hablar. No sé la verdad, qué decir. Mirá, escúchame. Punto número uno. Si vos pensás que me va a asustar cerrando y abriendo puertita, me podés comer bien los huevos, ¿tá? Punto 2. Si te gusta abrir y cerrar puertita, me podés limpiar los platos, barrer un poquito, ¿sí? Y punto 3, me voy a dormir y te vas a dejar de romper la pelota, ¿estamos? ¿Eh? Nada, es increíble. Bueno, bienvenidos a mi sitcom.
Out of nowhere, he couldn't find his daughter and searched the entire house for her. It was after checking her room, though, that the door slammed shut and he was taken very aback due to nobody being in there while he searched it. What made things even stranger is that the father decided to go to his ex house to see if she visited her, but she wasn't there. It was when he arrived home that his daughter was laying on her bed, like nothing happened in the first place. It was the morning of the solar eclipse, and the following family were really excited to see it. They were quite a young family compared to other ones, and the children especially weren't able to recall an eclipse happening in their lifetime. This called for some big hype towards the event, and they woke up very early out of excitement. I bet they regretted this though, because little did any of them know that the eldest child, Justin, was going to encounter a spirit that day. If you listen closely, you can hear a voice asking how Justin found it, but we don't know what it was yet, and neither did Justin. He ran upstairs to his mother's room, who decided to post the footage to social media and explain what happened publicly so that everyone could understand the story. And it was a very creepy story time, to say the least.
When he dropped his noodles, he ran upstairs, came busting in my room, jumping all over my bed, hiding in the corner, screaming and hollering, saying he didn't want to die. Somebody was in the house, telling me to get mine because somebody was in the house. And I'm like trying to tell him to calm down, be quiet, so I can hear what he's saying. Like, nobody's in the house. I kept telling him, nobody's in the house. Like, calm down. What is wrong? What happened? But like, he kept yelling. And I'm like, calm down. So then I call my dad. And I'm like, Dad, man saying somebody in the house. He won't get out of my room so that I can get them out the closet so I could figure stuff out. And he would not move. We started hearing footsteps. I mean, big, heavy feet coming up the steps. So, like, now at this point, I'm terrified. I throw my robe on. I push him into the room with his brothers. I started coming down the steps with nothing in my hands. At this point, I'm just thinking I'm going to have to knock somebody backwards up the steps and just do what I got to do at this point because I got 5 kids in here. So, I come down the steps. I'm like, I'm going to get my hammer because my hammer is normally in my closet, but I know it's downstairs.
Fortunately, after going down the stairs to check what was coming up, the mother found nothing at all, and she was very confused. Was this the act of a spirit? Let me know what you think in the comments. In the following video, Celsa, a married woman, was home alone waiting for her significant other to come home when a very strange sequence of events decided to happen out of nowhere. These events were so weird that Celsa was left scared every time she was home by herself in the future and held this as a lifelong trauma. Now you may think she was exaggerating and that nothing except a tragedy could keep someone that scarred, but that's a very deluded way of thinking. Take a look.
Okay, I've been hearing noises. It's okay. Shh, sit down. You scared? Yeah. Sometimes I'm hearing noises. Sometimes things get thrown off the counter. I just want to make sure that you see nothing because this is really creepy. I'm so over it. Come on, John, hurry up and get home. Can you stop, please? Sometimes things get thrown off the counter. Sometimes the water gets turned on. It's really creepy. Who is it, Lucy? Who is it? I'm probably gonna go live as soon as John gets home so that I'm not scared while I'm recording. I don't want to touch it. That's just the cat box. Yeah, I'm gonna go live as soon as John gets here because I'm creeped out.
At first, she could hear noises coming from the kitchen, which made her and the dog look uncomfortable in the presence of it. After buckling up some courage though, Celsa went into the kitchen and found the drawers moving by themselves, not the sight she would have wished to see in this situation. She panickingly closed them and beckoned for her husband to hurry his way home. It was a long wait, and we weren't updated on what happened next. While most spirits are discreet about their actions, others tend to be very out there, and that can definitely be said about the spirit in the next clip. Sufyan was working in a factory in the middle of the day, and this was deemed by him to be his most boring shift week. Barely anything went on during Tuesdays, and the shift consisted of sitting around call. However, the one-off incident in the following video was far I'm sure the employee would have still preferred the boring time though. Clip. Somehow, the ladder started walking off almost like a dog as its four legs moved in the motion that the domestic animals would do. This was very creepy, as it should have been impossible for a peer. If there is one thing you have learned from this channel though, it is that when the paranormal gets involved, the impossible becomes more than possible. Being in a haunted location is one of the most terrifying places you can find yourself in, and it's very obvious why. You can't even see what's haunting you. However, there are two ways you can be haunted, and the magnitude of fear varies a lot depending on this. First of all, you can be haunted in a building that does not belong to you. This is a much less scary experience because you can leave at any point and avoid the spirits for the rest of your life. On the other hand, you can be haunted in your own four walls, and this fear is incomprehensible. It is a long process to escape a haunting like this, and it makes you feel unsafe in your own home, which is one of the worst feelings on the planet. In the video you're about to see, a couple were in their own house when a spirit decided it was time to shine. An important mental note to make is that the couple had never experienced anything paranormal before, and this experience was very out of the blue. Take a look.
Okay guys, my lights have been flickering for like 2 minutes. We heard a baby crying, and now they won't stop. 2 of the lights blew out. It's... What?
I think I just seen a shadow.
Where? Yo, I think I just literally seen the remote fall. Oh my god. I don't know what to do. I don't want to even move from over here. This is insane. Did you catch it on camera? Is anyone there? The TV's on. The blue light's on. Okay, this is great. What is happening? Hello? Hello? The other lamp just went off down there. Hello? Okay guys, I just cut the video because something literally rolled out of the dark in front of me, and my mom and I still haven't gone down there, so we're just staying in the flickering kitchen.
For a first paranormal experience, this one was of a very high magnitude. From moving objects to flickering lights all the way to device control, the spirit that this innocent couple encountered was extremely active for some reason. After about an hour of constant stress, though everything stopped almost instantly, they are still left wondering why this all happened to date. The following experiment was conducted on September 16th of 2018 and had a lot of meaning to the man doing it. His name was Carl Williams, and he had spent the past 3 months constantly being haunted no matter where he decided to visit, from his home to the park, all the way to his workplace. Paranormal activity seemed to follow him wherever he went, but he never actually decided to get some evidence. Carl believed that filming the ghost would give it too much attention and cause it to mess with him even more. But on September 16th, he knew he had nothing to lose. The test was pretty simple. Carl would place a variety of different objects on the floor and ask the ghost to move them on camera for proof of its existence, and the results were extremely shocking.
Because of the success of yesterday's little object test, I decided I'm going to give this object placement thing another try. I have tried a few items already, just before I got the camera out. I was just having a little play. I got a few twitches out of the candle. This one here, this moved around a little bit. Nothing as dramatic as the ball or anything like that. The remote I'm unsure about. I thought I saw it move, but I wasn't recording or anything, so I can't really verify it. So I'm going to try them both again and just see what we capture. Really, same situation as before. I'm on my own, and I'll try to stay in camera so you know it's not me. Right, we'll start with the candle first, and basically just pop this down here. Okay, if there is anything here, can you please move the candle for me? Anything at all, could you please move the candle? No, that's strange. I thought that one would work.
Despite the experiment sounding promising in Carl's head, nothing happened, and he was left stunned sitting on the floor. However, as I explained earlier, he had a variety of items to test out, and it would be the second one where he got his evidence delivered.
Okay. Wasn't sure about this one, but I'll give it a go. If there's anything in this... No. See that? No strings attached. That one was different. The things it's shifted it before, but it's never just thrown it like that. Yeah, it's weird.
Without even asking the spirit to move the remote, it understood the assignment and launched it. This startled Carl because he claimed that it didn't usually move things in that kind of manner and was ordinarily chill and slid things. Maybe he was right all along. Perhaps filming the ghost did fuel it to new heights. Let me know what you think in the comments. In the upcoming video, YouTube channel Ghostek Paranormal Investigations were making one of their videos, and based on their name, you should be able to guess what this video was. The crew were investigating yet another haunted location. The place in this video was an old location called the Viaduct Tavern and was known for having some of the most poltergeist activity in England. It was a still occupied pub that the YouTube channel paid to have access to for the day, and after they left, they had so much spiritual evidence that the owner was forced to sell the place. Here I'm going to show you one of the unexplainable events that happened on that day, and if you don't believe in ghosts now, you most definitely will afterwards.
Did you hear that? It was like a door moved. Hello? The sound of a door moves from somewhere nearby. Here is the enhanced audio taken from Static Cam 3 covering the hallway. Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Strangely, the group heard the noise of a door opening upstairs, followed by some heavy footsteps. The weird thing was that they were the only people in the building and they had cameras set up to prove that no one was in the corridor where this happened. Do you buy that this capture was real? I most certainly do, but I'm willing to be turned away from my beliefs in the comments. On March 5th, during an unknown year, a family of 4 were fast asleep at night when they were disturbed by the youngest member screaming. She was called Layla and struggled to fall asleep, so decided to have one last play with her dolls before rolling into a slumber. However, something under her bed had a much more different idea to get her tired. You know the saying of monsters being under the bed. Well, this clip perfectly resembles that saying, and next time you hear someone say they have them, you'll have to think twice before calling them out for being crazy.
Sure, I'll play with you. So much I'll play, yeah. Bling, 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 yum, doo, doo.
Almost like a lure, the girl's singing doll started playing music, and Layla got scared that it would wake her parents up too early. She sneakily climbed out of her bed and tiptoed under her bed, but when she went in head first, something grabbed her. Fortunately, her mother came to save the day. Like any normal and functioning human being, she brought the daughter out and locked the room closed for 2 whole days. However, after a bit of peer pressure, she decided to take her first look under the bed and regretted it dearly.
So I've been getting a lot of questions. People have been asking me, have you been in the room? Have you guys looked under the bed? No, we haven't. We haven't been in the room in the last 2 days. We've been a little scared. Be this scared right now. Oh my god.
As weird as this may have been, the doll moved by its own accord when she looked under the bed, and understandably, the mother dashed back outside and locked the door. Since then, the door has stayed locked, and the family are always in fear that it could escape one day. They are constantly thinking of how to trash it, whilst making sure it doesn't find its way back. Babies are the most innocent people on the planet, and it always hurts to see them being involved in these paranormal videos. They don't deserve it, and are too young to understand what is actually going on, which isn't acceptable in the slightest. The video you are about to witness is one where a poltergeist messes with a baby, and it is really upsetting, so beware. Out of nowhere, the sound of blowing could be heard, and the baby's hair moved. What happened here is definitely up for speculation, but I'm certain it was the act of a ghost.